remember that every single thing on your list began as a thought in someone's head. Like literally everything. Like you think about something like this TV, right? Someone thought about this TV in their head before it became a reality here. Someone thought about this whiteboard before it came to life. Every single thing that you guys see or you mentioned was a thought before it became reality. Okay? And so there's this thing that I was seeing recently. They were talking about power. Not that kind of power, but okay? So they're talking about power. And their definition of power was how fast you can go from a thought to reality. So, how powerful you are is how quickly you can turn a thought into reality. So, let's take an example. If I say, oh, I'm thinking of writing a book, and then I take 28 years to write that book, you might say my level of power is different to if I think I'm going to write a book and by the end of the day I've written a book. Does that make sense? There's a link between how fast you can actually make these things happen. Now, who is the most powerful of all? Okay, what is Allah's example of power? Kun fayakun, right? To the point where Allah just says be and it is. That's the most powerful. Literally be and it is. Like it just says be and it just exists. Yeah, not that type of be. Yeah. So be and it exists, right? So if you think about everything we've been doing in terms of, planning and 10 years from now and like dream life, all of these things, these are all thoughts. But sometimes you get into this mindset where you think, oh, I just want this stuff, I think about it, it's not really going to happen. But you see everything you see here, everything, people dreamed of it. People worked hard on it. People, they went through and learned from other people and they did all kinds of things to make it a reality. And the more powerful you are, the shorter this thing becomes, to the point where you could just say, right, that's it. Does that make sense, yeah? And so most of your success that you want is you want to turn some of these thoughts into reality. And I'm saying the faster you can do that, the more power that you have. Does that make sense? Okay, so now when it comes to this kind of stuff, speed, reality, what are the kind of things that are in here? I would like to break it down into two. So on one hand, I would put Allah. Okay? So in there, you might put, you tell me, what could we put on this side if we want to become more powerful in the form of when we have our thoughts to reality? In regards to Allah, what could we do for ourselves to become more powerful? Okay, so there's a lot there. So one is dua, one is pray. Anyone else?
Go closer to Allah.
Yeah, so basically go closer to Allah. What else? Istighfar. Istighfar is a very good one because istighfar is one of those things where it gives you so much by doing it.
So what's actually the question?
So the question is that for you to become powerful, you have to be able to turn thoughts into reality. Now there's one side of it that Allah is completely in control of. Okay? And within that, what can we do about that specifically? Anything else?
Adhkar?
Yeah, adhkar is good, right? Like saying words of remembrance, constantly having Allah in your heart and on your tongue.
Tahajjud, istihara.
Did you say tahajjud and tahara?
Istihara.
Istikhara, yeah, that's good.
Tying your camel.
Okay, very good. So the tying of your camel, this is basically where it comes in. So what I'm trying to say to you guys is that there's a part where you could do everything you want, but it might not become a reality without Allah, right? But there's other times when you do everything you can, or you don't do anything you can, but you do it with Allah and it becomes a reality. Sometimes Allah just gives you stuff out of nowhere, right? Okay, so what about tying your camel? Because this is where all the strategies, all those kind of things come in, right? Like, what kind of things does it come to when it comes to tying your camel? Action, yeah, so that's very good. What else?
Upskilling yourself.
People, very good. So, people is a good example. Like, for example, like I pull my camera out. Assalamu alaikum, I really love everyone in this room and I'd love to see you soon. Bang. Send it to Usman. Usman, edit that now, post it in straight after. So I'm here working with you lot, and within 10 minutes, that video has gone live somewhere. Yeah, if you didn't send it, right? So the point is that people are one of the best ways of making you powerful. Dan, how many naans do you guys produce in a year, roughly?
Over 100 million?
Over 100 million. They produce, mashallah, tabarakallah, over 100 million naan, yeah? How many do you make in a year?
Me personally, 0.
0. Dan's a powerful man. He thinks of naan, and they produce 100 million of them. And he doesn't lift a finger to make a single naan. Do you see that, yeah?
His brother does all the work, that's all.
His brother does all the work, yeah, exactly. And he's given him trauma because of it. Yeah.
I don't know the meaning to the word non-stop.
Non-stop, yeah. All right, what else?
Software.
Software, very good, yeah. So software is an amazing one now, right? Because the kind of calculations of things you can do. Before it was very spreadsheet like. I put 1,000 different numbers, within a second you got a total. But now it's becoming very creative to the point where you can write stuff, you can do stuff. And I always say this, I said this to Atif the other day, that when we were doing the Majestic Quran stuff with him, we sat down for days with him and days without him just to think through some of this stuff. Who's the avatar, write it out, what the. Now we go to ChatGPT and I say, this is what we're trying to do. And it goes, buh, 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 buh. And then I go, okay, change this little bit. That's powerful, right? And so that's because of software. Good. What else?
Resources.
Resources, yeah. So we could say resources, capital. That kind of includes a lot, right? Even capital is one of those things that you could say. What else?
Media.
Media. Yes, very good. So this is similar to, you know, Ravikant. He's got that model where he says things that you can scale and everything. So media, yeah, media is very amazing because what happens is in the old days, imagine you were living 200 years ago. Like my parents, they come from a village. So in their village, they might have like, I don't know, 60, 70 houses. So if they tried to talk to a lot of people, they might try and gather a few villages together. Maybe they get a few hundred people to speak to them. But today, you can put something out and you can have thousands of people within seconds listening to your words. Like think about it, today, there's only like a small group of us here. But if I said to you there's 50 guys waiting downstairs to listen to you, you'd be like, wow, 50 people. If I said there's 100 people waiting to listen to you, you might be like, whoa, 100 is a big number. So when you then see only 100 numbers on your YouTube videos, why do you think, oh my God, it's only 100? Yeah. So this is another big thing. What else?
Visualization. Visualization.
Visualization, okay. Was that a tongue-in-cheek one? Okay. You've done as much visualization as you've done naan making. I like that you said it, right? There's actually like, I know Dan's making fun of visualization, right? But there's actually a real case for it. Do you know the famous study? Can someone give me a famous study, like a proper study that they did for it? Anyone know any examples? Which one? The basketball one. Very good. So what happened is they took 3 groups of people and they split them up. They were all basketball players. And they said to the first group, we want you to do no practice at all. So they did no practice. The second group, they said, we want you to practice every day physically. The third one, they said to them, you only are allowed to practice in your head. So you close your eyes and you just imagine, just visualize. Who had the least improvement? The one who did no practice. These guys who did practice only in their head had almost as much improvement as these guys. Isn't that crazy? All right, what else?
Writing down your goals. Written down, I think it's very important.
So within writing down goals, what I would say is that there's also, this is like, you could say vision, right? And then within vision, there's also, I guess, productivity and stuff. Yeah. Now, there's another big thing.
Purpose, why, drive, your driving force.
Yeah, the purpose can be your fuel, right? That's the thing that keeps you going. Okay? Now, the other thing I want to talk to you about is,
Habits and disciplines.
I think the two biggest ones for me is strategy.
yeah,
A lot of that falls within mindset.
so we're going to go into some of these. But what we're saying is that for you to be powerful, what's the biggest factor apart from thought and reality? What's the biggest factor? Time. So speed. We said the faster you can do this, the more powerful you are. So speed is a very, very important thing for all of us, right? And I always give the example of my dad. He used to have a shop, okay? So in the 80s, after he was working, he decided to open a shop. Does anyone know in the 80s what would you need to do? Like, I've had the thought now. So this is the thought. I should have a shop. Okay? Now, one of the things that most of us do is that we actually have a thought and then we linger on it for 2 to 3 years. We do nothing with it. So he had a thought, I'm going to open up a shop. What's the first thing you got to do when you're in the 80s and you want to open up a shop?
You look for property.
You're going to look for, how do you look? Google it?
No, you go on the yellow pages or
Okay.
drive
You go to an estate agent.
Yeah.
So you go, can I book a meeting with you? Yeah, what's the matter? Oh, I want to shop. Oh, you want to shop? Okay, let me show you the current ones. Oh, none of these are good. All right, I'll come back in a few weeks. A few weeks, come back. Keep doing that, maybe months. Okay, there's one shop we've got for you, Kilburn High Road. How much is it? This much. Okay, cool. All right, I want it. All right, cool. So now, go sign the lease paperwork, do all that kind of stuff, right? In the meantime, what do I do next? I've got the shop now.
Gotta fill it up.
He'll fill it out. So he's like, okay, I'm going to do white goods, washing machines, fridges, all this stuff. So then he goes and buys all those things, puts it in. So from the time that you have a thought that I should have a shop, by the way, you might not have the money then. You might need money to actually do the shop, 50 grand, 40 grand, 30 grand. How long do you think it would take someone to go from, in the 80s I'm talking about, from going from I want a shop in my head to the reality of actually selling their first product? Yeah, I think it would be, I would think years would be fair. Maybe you could do it in months if you were very, very proactive in those days. Good connections, all those kind of things. Okay? So that's what it was. Right. What if I have that thought today? I want to have a shop. What is the speed between me opening a shop and having my first sale? What could it possibly be?
Could be, yeah.
Minutes.
Could it be minutes? Is Faisal right?
Yeah. On Shopify as well. On eBay, Amazon.
Even your product of the
Digital.
Yeah. Today, you could actually set up your shop. Definitely you set it up within minutes,
Facebook.
right? If you already have a following or you have friends or something, send a few links out. You could actually, within one day, you could actually make your sale.
Product.
Yeah, without product even, right? So think about that. The time you guys are living in, they've taken something that took years and made it into a day. So what that means is that you now have the capability to be more powerful than you guys have ever been. So all these thoughts that you've got in your head, just like these thoughts, now it's very different. The guy who thought of this TV, for example, I don't know, let's imagine this was made 10 years ago. It's different to the guy who made the first TV, right? First, remember when we went to Canton? We saw so many things. There was guys there who said, these are the trucks we make. If you like, we could put baked earth branding on the trucks. If you want forklifts, if you want motorcycles, if you want flowers, if you want perfumes, whatever you want, we can put your brand on it and it'll be ready like that. So I want you guys to get this into your head now, that the equation of the things that you want is literally to do with how fast you can make it a reality. And I'm saying making it a reality is upon Allah, and it comes down to what you do.